Supposed to start right now. Okay, shit. I guess I don't have an intro because we're supposed to have an intro. Hold on real quick. Let me start this intro real quick. What's going on, man? Welcome to the podcast. We are just having a podcast, and the title of this is why Karmelo Anthony, why he won't likely survive prison. Tom, how do you feel about this whole case?
Hey, Marte, thanks for having me.
What's going on? Yeah. We have our
Love the
There's-
hat. Love the hat, buddy.
yeah. So coincidentally, there's two Uncle Toms on stage right now. One of them is actually named Uncle Tom. I happen to also be an Uncle Tom, according to the Black community. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. I do want to ask you this, in light of the recent events with, the Austin Metcalf Karmelo ordeal that we got. How do you feel about the whole case right now? What's your overall analysis, feeling, all that?
Yeah, good question. I've just kind of been on the sidelines for the whole thing because, I mean, right from the jump, it seemed like pretty cut and dry. I think it's only 23% of self-defense cases are actually go in favor of the person defending himself. So very rare. If anybody can avoid these types of situations, you just want to avoid it. So immediately when you see the headlines, you're like, okay, well, he's probably guilty if only 23% of people are able to successfully defend against this stuff in court. So so I didn't really pay too much attention to it, but my philosophy, which we can go into later, and we could even, I'm sure you probably won't like my philosophy on it, but these are just kids, and so anytime I see a child get, more time in prison than they've actually been alive on Earth, I just kind of think it's really bizarre. I mean, this is something, he could be rehabilitated. You could have a 12-year-old kill 3 people, right? Does that mean he should get 40 years? He's 12 years old. Probably not. He's only been alive 12 years. So it's something we could talk about. I think it's just way too much time.
We're going to get into that. You and I are going to definitely disagree on that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit later, but that I'm going to put a bookmark on that because we're definitely going to have to get into that. If we're going to disagree, we might as well go through the murky waters of what we disagree on, our tenets of how our belief systems are, like where you're coming from on why he shouldn't. Just a heads up, though. Well, you know what? I'll get to that bridge when we get to it. But for right now, the main thing is I understand your premise and where you're coming from. As far as my view, the whole summation of this is I think that justice wasn't completely served. I'm on the other side of things where I think that to be honest, I think that he should have gotten the chair. He should have rode the lightning at at the most, at the least life, like 99 years, whatever, the rest of his natural life. Now, granted, I do have an argument for why I believe that, but as far as the case is fundamentally, if we're going to talk about the groundwork, I believe that he was guilty for sure. And the arguments that I heard around this from the black community were, if anybody shoves you, you should have the right to kill them. What? Like this was the argument that I kept hearing reiterated when it came to the case. And I was like, so if somebody shoves you, you should go to black, level black, which means death and everything else automatically, like automatic death for just shoving. Do you know how many times I've been shoved in line at Subway by accident or intentionally, in public somewhere? It doesn't mean that somebody should die over that. To me, this is extreme, Just my feelings.
Yeah. There's been a lot of dumb takes, of course.
Yeah, I think there's dumb takes when it comes to that. I think when you use force, you have to match it with reasonable and necessary amount of force. Like you have to match that. There's something in law enforcement that we call the use of force continuum. You have to match the amount of force that they're using, unless if they're automatically going to lethal, you're going to match lethal, because you have to basically counter that with equal and necessary force. Therefore, justifying this, if you have to stop the subject, because obviously we're not going to say we killed them or murdered them. You're going to say I use reasonable and necessary force to stop the subject or whoever the assailant was. Like that's what we use in law enforcement. I'll never, even when I was writing my reports, like at the above date and approximate time, I, Agent Rayless, conducted a search and found the suspect to take action. Like I wrote these thorough to where if this was good to go to court, I did such and such to stop the individual. Like, because you never want to say kill, but technically we did that to stop and preserve life or whatever it is. Where I was going to justify this, but you can never justify taking a life because I got shoved. That's not even reasonable or necessary as amount of force to use against somebody. I can't even argue that. But hearing from the black community, I'm just like, now I'm hearing an excessive version of this. Like, well, you honky, you cracker, you deserve to die. Now they're just going full throttle with this. They're going full stupid with this. And I'm just like, so now we're going to create race wars in the event of the Chow incident and all this. And we're going to attack the Asian community, which is the last community you ever want to attack, bro. Like, that means that Keisha can't get her nails done at the Thai salon anymore. Like, they take care of the black community so much. That's the community you want to go after? Like, so bad. There's so many bad takes here. We're kind of getting off subject for a little bit. But
it's interesting to talk about, that culture side of it. It's terrible. I mean, me personally, I don't, it's hard to focus on that too much just because you wonder how much of the population it is. I'd argue it's really small part of the population that even paid attention to the case. Honestly, I'd bet maybe like less than 10% of the country, and then half of that is actually, cares enough to be. So I don't mean to be too cynical about it. I just think that this is where we run into a problem when cases like this get as big as they do, and then you're donating. You got people donating, ridiculous amounts of money.
We're going to get into this as well too. So let's dive right into it.
Playing games, you'll have to pull it up on X at some point. People are like, Charleston White was going to donate a bunch of money, but then he called Karmelo's dad and they got into a fight, and then now he's donating it. Now he's making T-shirts like watermelon felon T-shirt. It's just a spectacle. It's just like a disgusting spectacle. And at the end, like I said, my stance still stays. These are children. We're talking about children here. We have a bigger problem. But yeah, I'll let you go on.
Yeah, it's almost becoming a meme at this point to where it's like, this is a sick joke that we're dealing with right now. It's just, not only is this rhetoric bad, but we've seen this rhetoric in other cases as well too. Just really bad. Okay, hold on real quick. I'm trying to send myself some photos right now because these photos are really pertinent. Matter of fact, screw that. We'll just I'll kind of decompose this real quick so I can send this to myself because I want to show these. These are extremely important. There was a independent reporter who was doing an analysis pertaining this case, and I think it's not only important that we discuss this, but it's also this is also really bad. This also makes the case look really bad, especially on Carmelo Anthony's case. I mean, I'll read it. I don't even have to post it, but I can read this. Mind you, I'll show this on the screen because I can't for some reason send the footage to me. Sarah Fields, who was an independent reporter on the case, says, "I've been trying to find a good representation online of the knife used to kill Austin Metcalf. It was a green-handled multi-tool knife with a 3.5-inch blade and a thumb click locking mechanism. This is basically what it looked like. The only difference was it wasn't serrated. This is what the knife looked like."
Yeah.
So if you could imagine that going into somebody's heart, very bad for the optics to even look at that. You couldn't be like, oh, that's a multi-tool knife. That could look like a non-multi-tool knife, like a weapon, right? So for going into the case and looking at this, let's discuss the heart of the matter on why I don't think, because this is my own independent feeling, I don't feel like he'll likely survive prison. And here's why. I'm going to bring this video to the case right now. And I just wanted to point out, because Black culture is rife with a bunch of made up shit. Like, let's just be honest. There's a lot of vilification towards the white community, towards the Asian community right now in regards to Black people getting either killed or, according to the Black community, unjustified time in prison, things like this. And they're going to absurd lengths to try to make sure he doesn't get time in prison. I have to demonstrate this. They're even doing witchcraft. I repeat, witchcraft outside of the trial. I'll show this right now.
Hey, back up. Hey, come on, get up. That shit is bad.
So she's got this design, these rocks out front here. She's like performing witchcraft right now to make sure that he doesn't get to. This is lunacy at its finest.
All right, so let me take back what I said. Let me preface it with, I hope it's only a small percentage of the country that's involved in shit like this.
So this is the witchcraft that they're doing for Carmelo Anthony outside of this. And I'm just like, well, just think about this. If they're sharing the video of the witchcraft and all this nonsense, it's propagandizing more people to buy onto this and have this belief system where others, if somebody hadn't seen this, well, maybe I should try that too. Propaganda is very infectious, but I'm going to continue to play this real quick.
She must go. Because you are the one who's agitating. If I just kicked her, I would have been in jail right now. Don't agitate me, because I'm really not the one. Okay, come across the street. You can either create peace. I'm going to beat your I'm not a person, then it's going to end up with you. So don't ever speak to me. I bet you. Okay, I'm peaceful. I bet you. So now you calm down. I don't respond to violence. You're a racist bitch. You're a racist bitch. What's your problem with my skin? What's your problem with my skin? I'm not racist. What's your problem with my skin? I don't have a problem with your skin. So if 4 people come attack you right now, what are you going to do? Are you going to...
What if 4 people touch you right now, what are you going to do? You see how this is like a common thing? She doesn't know this, but she's mirroring everything. Let me rewind it real quick because we were going to get into the AB thing right now. She basically said, if people touch you right now, what are you going to do? What did Carmelo say? Touch me and find out what happens. You see, this is a commonality in the Black community that I find. It's like, touch me and see what happens. That's basically what she's saying she's going to do. So I don't think, and here's my summation of Black women in general in America, which I think is bad. Black women have a conflict resolution problem. And if they, in a sense, there's a majority, and this is what I believe, I see this. I'm a pattern recognition machine. I know you are too, Uncle Tom. If we see Black women having a hard time resolving conflict and they automatically jump to touch me and see what happens, and then we look at it, the majority of people raising Black kids are Black moms. Could we possibly not be creating more Carmelo Anthonys in the world because of this? This is an epidemic that is BS. We're hearing this live right now. She's saying, touch me and see what happens. Basically. Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's pretty toxic.
Yeah, it's pretty toxic. So we have I wouldn't say a black problem. I'm going to rephrase this. I would say we have a black culture problem that leans towards single, empowered, black, masculine women raising men. And they will tend to kick a lot of black men out of the house because feminism has weaponized the black woman. And I think that this is horrendous. They're literally raising the next Karmelos of the streets. And that's why I wanted to point this out. Not only this feminism, but witchcraft, touch me and see what happens. All of this in one little video. This is like the most accurate summation of black women propaganda. And they don't even know they're selling this without even intentionally selling this. Well, so here's one of the things that I'll tell you why I don't think that Karmelo Anthony will survive in prison. Why do you think, well, you know what? I'll even tell you right now, instead of asking you what your opinions are. This is a racially charged issue. From jump, we already know where the dynamics in the nation are. We have an illegal immigration problem, which tends to lean toward a racial issue, but now we have a verdict. It's the whole black community admittedly saying that they hate white people, that they will punch you in public and they'll assault white people in public. They're calling white people crackers in public. They're calling white people every name of white boy. They're calling them everything under the sun. And I would say Metcalf's family's walking to the court and they're saying they're happy he got stabbed and all this. This is creating so much vilification against the black community, and they don't even know this. Like, we don't even know this. So the number one reason I think why he's going to have a hard time, why he likely won't survive prison, is because of the race problem. That's number one, which leans to this. I'll show this on the screen right now.
If more people come and attack you right now, what are you going to do? Are you going to...
So this guy right here is a part of the Aryan Brotherhood. And Texas has a very powerful Aryan Brotherhood in their prison system. And if we're thinking about the prison system in the Aryan Brotherhood, look at this next tattoo that we have. It says Aryan Brotherhood in TX, Texas. And of course, they have Mustache Man right in the middle, the Austrian painter. Proudly, right? This is definitely a prison tat. So inmates have phones in prison. This is very common. When you go to prison and you're about to go and you are a high profile person, they already know why you're going, but they're still going to ask you for your paperwork, meaning why you're there. They already know why you're there. They keep up with the footage and everything else. They follow everything. Matter of fact, we have inmates posting on Instagram, X, and everywhere else from prison because they have phones. Hell, I was listening today before we did this podcast on inmates who had phones and were posting, following up with the latest news media. If you are going to a prison population, the Aryan Brotherhood is sitting back like, oh, you're about to come in our home soon. You're going to arrive at our cell block. I even have the name of the cell block that they're going to go in. Here it is, real quick. I'm going to go ahead and tell you where it is. So Anthony is at Wallace Pack Unit, which is a medium security known for heat issues. Heat issues, which means there could be some STG issues, security threat groups. And in prison, a security threat group is gang affiliation. Well, it says that he is in medium security, not protective custody, which is bad. That's the secondary issue. So he has to contend with the Aryan Brotherhood in one of the worst, most contentious prison systems that we have, right? He's going to meet guys like this. They will normally stay out of your way. And also I have a video.
Well, he'll have to join a gang. That's pretty much how prison is.
But that's going to be a problem too. I can describe why that's also going to be a problem too. I'll play the rest of the video and it's going to describe because he's going to have to protect himself. And I agree. He's going to need a PC up, which is protective custody up. There are several ways to do
They know his family's got money, so he's going to be able to
That's actually going to work against him to some degree, and I'll tell you why. And people think money's going to save you. Let me get straight to the video real quick.
And brotherhood.
So this guy's going to talk about the Aryan Brotherhood, right? He's gonna give a really quick, brief explanation. This is probably the best description and it's coming from a black guy. So if you don't buy this, I don't know what you're going to buy. Here we go.
Now let's speak on the and brotherhood inside the system. I'm gonna tell you about these dudes, the ABs. Now one thing about the ABs, when they go down, they go down. They ain't to be played with. No, they will stay at your way. They just mind their own business and they doing their time. But if you cross that line and do something that ain't right, it's gonna be some problems. So when I come down to more ferocious, the more vicious dude in the federal system, and where they stick together and they got a small group and small numbers and they still go hard, that's why I say they some of the most vicious, because they still go hard with a small number. They can be outnumbered 100-1. They still coming. So I get an ABs a shout out in the federal system.
Yeah. He was saying we give him a shout out because no matter how small their numbers are, bro, like they will find you. They'll find a way to touch you. And when people talk about we'll find a way to touch you, they mean you're gonna put that hard steel in them, or they're gonna find some other way to fuck you up in prison. No, pardon my friend, to mess you up in prison. They're going to do this. So where there's a will, there will be a way. So right now, we're talking about Karmelo Anthony, and this is current. He's at Wallace Pack Unit, which is medium security. Not protective custody, mind you, medium security. So already he's exposed more than he should be. Now, I remember you mentioning money. We'll get to that later. Here's the second reason why Karmelo Anthony will not survive in prison. So in high school, he has photos flashing the almighty Vice Lord affiliation. Now, we know, let's be honest, Uncle Tom, you and I both know that he's not really in a gang. And I can tell you why he's not really in a gang. Because gangs have this culture where you need to get beat in. Like, I don't know any gang where you're not going to have to get beat in or prove your mettle or have to do some dirt to get in this gang member. Like, the purpose of this is to prove your worth and show that you can fight your own battles without needing to run, snitch, rat people off, or do anything else. Karmelo Anthony, by stabbing Austin Metcalf, had to go run, grab a knife, and then run away. He didn't even fight. So if you think about this requires somebody to stand and fight their own battle. Karmelo Anthony didn't stand and fight. He stabbed and ran, dropped through the knife. So if he was in the gang, which is the Vice Lords and all this, he would be able to stand his ground and throw the dukes up. He didn't do any of that with Austin Metcalf. So here's the other problem with this. When you said that he needs to join a gang or figure this out, well, this is the other problem that he's going to run into. How do we think that gangs feel about you faking like you're in a gang, and then you meet a real Vice Lord and you get in prison, and then they're like, so you were saying you're a Vice Lord? How do you think that's going to go? So recently...
Yeah, I kind of reject some of that. He'll have to... they're not going to take it lightly that he did this, but
no,
he can pay his way into a gang. He'll have to. He'll need
this
protection.
It's going to be bad though. So this is why it's going to be bad.
Well, once the money runs out, yeah, he's cooked.
Well, it's going to happen. We're going to get to that a little
They
bit
already
later.
spent most of the money anyways on a house and cars. So
right, but they're not going to think that he doesn't have money anymore. They're not going to see that. They don't care about that. Matter of fact, here's the other reason why.
Well, there was at Instagram. They'll know.
Well, hold on though. There's another issue. I don't know if you know this, Tom, but there was a prison gang riot over this. Meaning like the ops of the Vice Lords, the people that don't like the gang that he's fake representing, want a piece of him. Now that they want, the Vice Lords opposition wants a piece of Karmelo Anthony, but he's not really a Vice Lord. And the Vice Lords are like, he doesn't represent our scent. He never got jumped in the gang. He has no real affiliation. He can't even prove that he's in our gang. He's in a quandary. So if he wants to get in the Vice Lords, he needs to get jumped in, but he hasn't demonstrated the tenacity to get jumped in and to stand and fight his own battles, because by the very case of him stabbing Metcalf and running, he's proven that I don't even know if he can get jumped into gang or has the balls or guts to do this. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it won't be. It won't be vice lords necessarily. It's whatever gang. Some guys they'll switch gangs. They'll keep going to whichever gang will
He
accept
has no
them.
choice, but he's got no choice. He's got to figure out what table he can sit at. And the problem with this is gang culture in prison is divided like this. So they have a chow hall, and you go in the chow hall, and there's different tables. Like even the whites are divided. You'll have the Aryan Brotherhood, and then you'll have this other set. I forgot what that's called. It's called something else. It's like different white nationalist gang or something like that. But then you have Aryan Brothers, and then the Mexicans have different gangs too. You have the Border Brothers, because that's a gang, because since it's in Texas, they're close to that. You have the Grandels, which is another Mexican gang, and then there's another Mexican. So even the Mexicans are divided, even, right? The blacks are divided too. You have Vice Lords, you have Crips, like Southside Crips, like, and then you have other gang affiliations too. So he's got to pick something, but automatically he's going to get checked for fake repping a gang automatically, because you can't be throwing up a Vice Lord sign and then not get checked for this or address. Because if they have phones,
he'll have to answer to it. That's for sure.
This is probably going to be one of the most troubling things that he's going to have to go through as a hurdle. This is problematic for him. Automatically I've jumped. So let me play the rest of this. I had to, so he's holding a pew in his hand. I had to like blur it for YouTube because somehow Jib Bob had a GUN in his hand, not in his hand, but displayed on the screen, and they like took his stream down or something like that. So I edited it obviously, but yeah, that's what he's throwing up. This is the Vice Lord sign that he's throwing up, and he was a high school kid, right? Football player. Let's go ahead and fast forward this a little bit. And this is gang culture real quick. So when you're automatically going to prison, this is how it tends to happen. When you go into the prison, remind you, I'm going to just remind you, I was in law enforcement for a while. I've worked in all different kinds of dynamics. But when you go into prison, somebody's going to walk up to you, whether or not you're high profile or not, but especially if you're high profile, they're going to say, hey, listen, you're new here. You don't know shit. Let me help you out. I know everything. I've been here for a while. I've been here for a minute. This is what not to do. This is what you do. This is what you do right here. And matter of fact, this is how we do it here. You don't want to do it like that because that'll get you fucked up. Here's what we do. Matter of fact, since I'm helping you out, I need you to go ahead and do this real quick. Can you go ahead and do that? If you do that, it'll help us out a whole lot and show like some solidarity to what we're doing right now. And then I'll help you get further acquainted. You know what you are then? Once you go to prison, you're going to be deemed a crash test dummy. And what this is, once you go to prison, you're the guy that is like a test lab rat. They want to see how far you will go once you get in prison, especially if you're high profile, just to see what you would do and how you would buckle under pressure sometimes. This happens frequently and often. And if you're able to test your mettle, then they could say, okay, he's cool. He's not a punk. He's also not a snitch, whatever this is. But there's also two ways that this can go. And I'm going to show you the other way that this can go. There's a culture in prison where it goes bad. And this is the other culture right here. So what the guy's wearing right now are thermals. And they'll turn the thermals into a certain kind of clothes for men in prison. And these are the men where it didn't go that way as a crash test dummy once they got to prison.
This how they doing here. Yeah, they doing it here. This how they doing it.
Yeah, so that's one entailment of direction it can go. And
damn, you should have gave me a warning for that one.
Why? What happened? What happened?
The trigger warning there.
Yeah, that's a real thing. They'll take thermals and they'll turn it into a different kind of gear, you know, things like that. Hey, what's up, Mezcal and Dreamer? Good to see you, man. Good to see you in chat. Yeah, they'll do that in prison, but this is one of the things that'll harm him more than anything else. His alleged gang affiliation. And once you go to prison, you don't want them to turn you out. That's one thing. we're gonna go further into this, and I'll show you my other speculative thoughts about why I don't think that Carmelo Anthony will
35
survive.
years. Whew.
Yeah, just think about this. Not only 35 years, but 10 years is bad. Just 10 years is a lifetime. You're talking about hell on earth. Texas prison is one of the most brutal prisons that you can get into. You know what I'm saying? So let me show you this real quick, because even the blacks are going to be harsh against you in prison. I'll show you a video of, remember what I told you that people get phones in prison? It'll take them a while if you don't have money on your books to get a phone. But if you have enough money, you can get a phone. People have phones galore in prison. So they have this thing called paperwork in prison. I don't know if you're familiar with it. So when people ask if your paperwork is good or bad when you go to prison, that means, hey, what are you in here for? Are you a snitch? What'd you do? How'd you get out of it? That's checking if your paperwork is good or not. They don't want a PDF to be in there. They also want to determine whether or not they're safe or not. There's a new kid on the block, fresh meat, whatever this is. This guy's got to be vetted. Once he gets on the block, he's got to be vetted. They want to check your paperwork, and that's and 99% of the time, they know what your paperwork is, meaning your status of why you are in prison. They're going to ask you anyways, as if they're playing stupid, because they want to see what your answer is anyways, right?
Hey, man, this all Texas boy, man. This all Texas boy, man. Hey, this all Texas boy, man. You gotta have good paperwork to walk this yard, man. You gotta have good paperwork to walk this yard, man.
You hear what he's saying? You gotta have good paperwork to walk this yard. What good paperwork means: your charges are acceptable under prison social rules, things like murder, robbery, drug dealing, assault, fraud, theft, and most violent street crimes. You're not a snitch, cooperator, informant, sex offender, chomo, CM, rapist, or domestic abuser in certain contexts. Even serious violent crimes, killing multiple people, can qualify as good paperwork because they show that you are not weak in all this. However, remember what I said about needing to get jumped into a gang, because even in prison, you need to get jumped into gangs. Even in the state where I'm at, every gang that I know, if you want in a gang, you're getting jumped in. It's going to happen really quick. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to take the CO and distract him because they need you to get jumped in. And you better take your licks. You're not getting any help or anything like this. Can Carmelo withstand an ass whipping? If he wants to get protection, he's got to go through this. He wasn't able to do this during the Metcalf thing. He stabbed him and ran. So I don't know how good of a fighter Carmelo is. He's not going to be able to stand the test of time if he's like, touch me and see what happens. That's not going to fly in prison. So they're going to check him on his paperwork to find out if it's good or not. But here's also the rest of this, because this shows two things. This is probably the most accurate portrayal of prison. For one, they got a cell phone. Remember what I said? Anybody can get a cell phone in prison. Now they're talking about paperwork. You better have good paperwork to walk this yard. And we're going to get into what bad paperwork looks like too.
Nah, for real. You gotta have good paperwork. You gotta have good paperwork to walk this yard, man. Fucking nigga talking about, yeah, nigga. Yeah, hey, look.
Okay, here's what bad paperwork means. Bad paperwork means you cooperated with prosecutors, testified against others, or took a deal that hurt co-defendants. Sex offenders, especially against minors or vulnerable crimes. Chomos, sometimes disfavored chargers depending on the prison culture. Certain frauds, weak crimes, in some environments, things like this. Well, I don't think the Aryan Brotherhood is going to take too kindly to this, so he better PC up and find wherever he can get in for protection real quick. Now, the problem with this is my third reason why I don't think that he'll survive in prison. He's a golden goose. People want money on their books. They heard how much money he made, and we're going to get into this.
Easy! Hey, you gotta have good paperwork to walk this yard. You can't walk this yard. Yeah, fucking nigga talking about
big Texas shit.
Yeah.
Remember, big Texas shit. This is in Texas. The same place he's going right now. Like, this is the same place.
What's going on, man? Hey, then we got a commentator. Look at this pussy ass. You know, for real. The guys, man. We ain't been lit, man. No.
And I present to you reason number 4 why I don't think he'll survive in prison, because all this is borrowed time. You said, yeah, money will protect him. I don't think necessarily money will protect him. And here's why. Reports consistently cite figures around $630,000, more than $630K, nearly $634K, and they give like a speculative number. The campaign's total goal was raised to about $1.4 million, but it didn't reach that goal. Now, if you're an inmate, which you're going to have cell phones everywhere in prison, they're going to see this, and they're going to see the numbers. Somebody is going to be like, they don't, and here's the thing though, Uncle Tom, I'm going to tell you this right now. Even the Aryan Brotherhood, they're not going to care about Austin Metcalf, and they're whites. Here's why. They're going to mind their business. Here's how I think it's going to go. They're going to mind their business. They don't care about all that stuff. They just care about the politics in there, because they have their own store, their own banking system. They, number one, here's the reason why, because people will say, they'll say, well, the Aryan Brotherhood wants to put a hit out on him automatically. Not necessarily, because there's politics in prison. Here's why they're not going to automatically just do this, like recklessly. The Aryan Brotherhood is not going to do this recklessly, because the moment that they do something that shuts down the yard, they don't have their phone call. They don't get their mail. They don't get the rec time because yard time shut down because some bullshit happened. And now you fucked it up for everybody. And now the heat's drawn on you because you shut their time down. So their phone calls on why they couldn't get money on their books are shut down, so that you just delayed money on their books, because if they would have called their girlfriend out there, she would have sent in $30 that they needed for store, maybe to get a couple of soups or something like that. So because of the prison politics, people like really don't think thoroughly about this. It's not going to be like, oh, he gets in and they're just going to try to kill him. Nope. And it's going to be a setup. And here's how it's going to go. In prison, you have people that walk around. They mind their freaking business, but they are looking for an opportunity too. You're going to have inmates that walk around there. Maybe a CO pissed them off that day. They had a bad phone call. They were on the yard, and then like the meal wasn't that good because maybe it was pizza day or something like that, and it was bad, or whatever else. And then next thing you know, they got some new shoes, and you scuffed the shoes up, or somebody scuffed the shoes up, and you were the last straw. And then they were like, you know what? I've been hating this Karmelo kid. Then that's going to happen, but they can't just stab him. They can't do anything. They need to find a good reason. That's where politics comes in. They can't be like, he sneezed in my direction, so I'm going to have to stab him. Nope. They have to fabricate a good reason, like as in disrespect or something like that, to where you can't even get protected, because in prison, even no matter how powerful your person is, they can't protect you from everything, because if you do something egregious, because in prison this happens, like if you do something really egregious, like you violated some norm or social contract in prison, they're going to be like, bro, you should have known to not do this. You were set up to violate a social norm. But that guy's now put in a bind where he's like, I can't protect you. You got to fight this guy one-on-one. Because you disrespected him, I can't have your back on this one, because that's going to make me look bad. That's why people have to fight their way into gangs. So that's how I believe that this is going to go down. They're going to fabricate something against him in prison to where he violated a social contract in there, and the person can't be protected because he's like, you did something that I can't even justify. You should have known to not do this. But he's set up. And that's how I think the Aryan Brotherhood is going to take him out, to where they can now create a justification for why this happened. And to me, that's just prison politics. So one of the things that I'm going to harp on is he is a golden goose. So because they see the money that he generated on the golden GoFundMe and all this, somebody's going to walk up to him and say, hey, because they don't care. Like I said, the AB doesn't care about the Austin Metcalf. The blacks don't care about that. All they care about is what they can get at that time, because there's no such thing as morality in prison. It's just weak and strong. That's all they freaking care about. Weak people and strong people. That's in hierarchies as far as weak and strong. That's all this points to. All the morality, they don't care if you go to church on Sunday. Just don't violate this social contract. Just have a certain level of respect for this gang culture, stay out of the way and this and that, supersedes all that. I don't care how religious you are in prison. Weak and strong. So that's the thing. So he can have all the money in the world, but somebody's going to walk up to him. They don't care about Austin Metcalf, what he really did. They see a payday. They're like, hey, you want to get some protection, stick with us. But you gotta pay me, like, this is what you gotta pay me weekly. Basically, he's gonna have to pay for a bodyguard. If they know he's got money, he's going to have to pay for protection and safety. That's a finite source of income. If you got a GoFundMe and his family purchased a house, that's more money that he doesn't have. All this other shit, expenditures, but the inmates don't know that. They don't care. He'll find a way to get another one. He's got a big name. People threw him money. They'll get him more money. They don't care about that. But then when the money runs out, he's cooked. Dude's cooked.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Prison is a dangerous place, so it's not going to be a pleasure cruise for him. That's for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of, that the politics in there, right? The prison politics. It gets ugly. It gets complicated. We know he's not above killing someone, so there's that. He's not a big guy, but I mean, he's not above doing some dirty work if he needs to kind of fit in.
Well, I'm glad you said that. That presents another problem of why I don't think he'll survive in prison. I think that. So this is crazy. I just found out that he's taking boxing lessons. You hear about this?
No.
So he's currently taking boxing lessons to survive in prison. This is why this is bad. So prisons are designed to be like 5 by 5 in the rooms and cells. You can sneeze inside of a cell and turn around, and because of the particulates, no matter where you're at, your cellmate's going to get particulates on their neck. More than likely. No matter where they're at in the cell. That's how close you are. And then when you walk around, the hallways are condensed and small because prisons are designed to carry the maximum allowance of people during intake and everything else that they can have, while also saving money with space. So guess what? If you have a confined quarter in space, boxing shouldn't be the thing that you invest in. It should be wrestling. He actually should put his money in towards grappling. Because if you have a confined space, you don't have much room to punch. It's elbows and knuckles, and you guys are grappling. All that boxing shit goes out the window. That's another reason why I don't think he'll survive, because he's investing in the wrong thing. If he's trying to learn boxing to survive in prison. If I was him, this is what I would do. I would increase my caloric intake. I'd be doing push-ups and work on my cardio. Try to put on as much dense tissue as possible and work on my stamina. But I would have invested in wrestling before boxing any day. Because all that boxing shit, once you close the quarters and close the gap, all that shit goes out of the window. That's like the 5th reason why I don't think that he'll survive, just to throw it in as an extra. But the 4th reason is the golden goose, which is only buying him time. Because he's a golden goose, that makes him a target. I remember there's a basketball player called Amari Stoudemire. His mom got locked up and put in prison. I'm not doxing. This is like public information. His mom was like 5'11". She was tall too. Had these dreads. I remember because I saw the arrest. She was being extorted on the yard and they had to PC her up because she was Amari Stoudemire's son. And she was an idiot. She went around the yard and saying, hey, look, this is my son. You know, my son is famous. I'm really proud of him. All the inmates on the yard were like, oh, all right. Hey, I need some soup next week. If you can get some soup, that's all I need. Just soup. It only costs this much. That's it. That's how they start. All you do is get one little soup. Next thing you know, you're funding somebody's whole prison career. It's so crazy. They had to PC her up, man, off the yard. So it's like, he's a golden goose already. And you're going into one of the worst prison systems in the nation, which is in Texas, where the Aryan Brotherhood is strong. This is wild. Really crazy. Rogers Gold said it's so bad that some police guards will even tell them the crime is heinous enough. Yeah, they don't even like it when you call them guards. They'll say corrections officers, because guards, and I've been corrected on this when I was doing intake and then, escorting somebody to a prison one time, because they'll say, well, guards guard inanimate objects, not people. They'll bodyguard maybe, but not they. For some reason, they find that as like something that's like denigrating to call them guards. It's really weird. Almost like they want to be more part of law enforcement culture. It's just weird. They hate the word guards, which is why they're shot callers. He says. Mezcal and Dreamer says blacks handle blacks, whites handle whites, Mexicans handle Mexicans. Yeah, that's true to a certain degree. They'll try to take care of their own unless you disrespect somebody else's set, anybody else's thing, and there's overlap that happens. If you have an egregious disrespect thing that happens, that's why I'm saying the setup thing by the Aryan Brotherhood could happen. Once that happens, you don't have protection. Because if there's something that even your protection can't justify for you doing because it was egregious enough to disrespect the Aryan Brotherhoods, and you overstep something that was a common knowledge thing, he's like, bro, I can't back you up on that. You should have known better. You got a one-on-one in the showers with him. Like, you got a one-on-one in Rec Room 5 with him. We'll distract or whatever. Best of luck to you, bro. That's what's going to happen. I understand that culture takes care of culture, but to some degree, that's finite even. Even that's finite. You know what I'm saying? So there's like a limitation on protection when it comes to that.
Oh,
but yeah.
It's dog eat dog.
Yeah, dog eat dog. Like Tom, like I'll have your back, Tom, right? But if you tell somebody, yeah, that's right, white boy, that's why your mom was retarded, or so you say something crazy, whatever, you disrespect somebody's mom, and then he wants to fight you, but you're not outnumbered, but you kind of put yourself in that situation. I'm like, bro, you talked about his mom, bro. Like, that's you, bro. I'm not about to jump in and help you out. Like, I can't even cover you because I'm like, I know better than to talk about somebody's mom without justification. That's his mom. Like, there's some things I can only protect you from. Now, if you're getting outnumbered or something like that, if you're wrong, like let's say you're wrong at the bar, you're completely wrong, but you're getting outnumbered, I'm jumping in. I don't care. I'll cheer your ass out on the drive back. I'll say, Tom, you're an idiot, bro. Like, but the moment more than one person jumped in to beat you up, I had to do that because you're my boy. But if it's one-on-one, I look like a pussy for jumping in and making a 2v1 on them. You got to handle your own shit. But prison's like the same way. Like, there's a massive culture when it comes to respect in prison. But also, they'll respect if you hold your own and you could throw down. If they know that you can get jumped into a gang and you could fight, you're not going to run, you take your licks, and you held your own, you're going to be respected. And they're going to be like, yeah, okay, cool. You're part of us. You took your licks, bro. Welcome to the gang. So there's a lot of variables that Karmelo Anthony is going to have to deal with in prison. Right off rip. Yeah.
So I just sent you, I just DM'd you a couple of things. So latest news here is that the appeal is in. So he's filed for that appeal. So I sent you the paperwork on that if you want to check it out on stream. And then also, allegedly, LeBron is going to be donating.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Which is crazy. If he does, I mean, this guy, he needs to shut up and dribble, man.
No, he's involved in the wrong stuff, man. This is insane.
It is insane. So I sent you both those things if you wanted something additional to chat about or show your audience.
Yeah, I was trying to pull it up, but for some reason my phone is acting janky for some reason. I don't know why.
It's you're not on X on your desktop?
Hold on. Yeah, I am on X. Let me pull it up because I don't know why my phone's tripping. Bring this up real quick.
Yeah, so LeBron, wants to give 500. Again, it's alleged. I don't know. You have to look into it, but if that's true, I mean, for him to give him $500K. Then he's got this appeal going. It almost makes you wonder if it's like, were they just trying to milk this thing in the first place? You know, get the community to donate a bunch of money, knowing you got an opportunity to retrial, you know, get more money, and then hit him with some different evidence. Because there's allegedly a video. What's that about? I didn't even know there was a video.
I got it. I got your stuff. I'm going to show up on screen real quick.
Yeah.
And you said there's a video. What do you mean, like with?
You know much
LeBron
about the video of the act? No. The video of the actual pushing or them jumping.
Yeah. I heard about that too. Yeah, I heard about the video too. I just saw that before I started the stream for sure, but I couldn't find the video. It's weird.
Well,
weird like that.
So I don't know. Like I said, it makes you wonder where they just get in the community, raise money, knowing they're gonna just have a shitty trial with I guess this was a not a paid for attorney, right? A public pretender. So, and then counting on the retrial is what I'm saying. Like getting more money for the retrial, because think about it, they get double the money, but like it would make sense to do 2 trials.
So I think public defenders get a bad rap. I do want to read this chat real quick. Rogers Gold said, pretty sure it's just a video of him getting pushed. That's what he says. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But if it's that, it's very limited scope. But here's my tangent, my real quick quip about the public defenders. I know somebody that's an attorney because I debated attorneys and lawyers in the past. This guy was telling me, because I was like, who wants a public attorney anyways? He corrected me. He said, no, at my law firm, we got guys that are probably some of the best in the world. But what we do is, in order for them to get more experience, to be the best at what they do, we'll throw them in and start them out as a public attorney, and they'll be really good. We'll just do this so that way they can get all this time under their belt and more experience, and these guys can get really fucking good. And he was like, that's how you get more experience. So he said some of the best attorneys that I know start out as public attorneys, and they gain so much freaking experience. The unfortunate part about this is it tends to wear them down, and it tends to kind of turn them a little gray from doing it so much. But that's the thing, they get overused sometimes. But you can get really good at debating. If you continuously do it, you'll get better. But he was like, in regards to public attorneys, that doesn't mean they're necessarily green. It just means, it could also mean that they have a lot of time under their belt doing debates and presenting cases and shit. So I was like, I never thought about it from that angle before. And he was like, yeah, we recommend that some of our best people go put more time as a public attorney, because you'll be thrown cases and you're going to have devil's advocate position sometimes and things like that. And it makes you a better attorney from just doing that. And I'm just like, I never thought about that angle before, but I'm like, oh, that's fair, I guess. Yeah. But here's you were going to say something, Tom?
Yeah. I mean, I guess there could be, no, I mean, it's just the idea of him even having one of those when they have the money for an attorney. So it's like, yeah, well, let's see. I mean,
and you talking about the same family who bought a car before they bought a house? It's like, oh, they throw it away. Like, I don't know, man. I don't really think his family makes the wisest decisions, but that's just my opinion. I don't know if that's a fact.
Dave Chappelle predicted this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did. All right, and here's another reason why I don't think the money will save him. We could call this reason number 6 on why I don't think he'll survive in prison.
Another trending case.
Remember, there's this guy that's damn near a rock star status person that's an inmate. And when it comes to Aryan Brotherhood, money probably and most likely won't save you if they really want to get you. I don't care how much piecing up you do. This is a further demonstration of that.
Kelly's case. His attorney has been trying to get him released from a North Carolina prison, as Kelly has claimed that his life is in danger there. Now, his attorney, Bo Brindley, filed a brief saying that prison officials recruited leaders of a white supremacist group to kill him. The court filing also claims that Kelly was given an overdose of medication that sent him to the hospital with blood clots. Kelly has since been back in solitary confinement, according to his attorney, still with these blood clots in his legs and lungs. So we are asking, is someone really trying to take his life in prison. And bringing back in our panel, I do want to read some statement that we received from the attorney for R. Kelly today, talking about this request for immediate release. They say it was denied by the judge. They were expecting that. They were going to have a hearing today, but that has been canceled. So they say they're not surprised, but they knew that technical jurisdiction would be a challenge under these circumstances. And they are going to be filing some other things in this case to try and get the conviction vacated. They have no choice but to act immediately, given the explicit evidence they say they have in terms of a threat to Robert Kelly's life. And yesterday they made an emergency visit to see him and can now confirm that this threat is ongoing.
Threat is ongoing. R. Kelly's got a shit ton of money, but he can't protect himself from the Aryan Brotherhood. But somehow Karmelo Anthony may be protected by some money. He doesn't have
well,
R.
I
Kelly
don't
money.
know. I don't know if R. Kelly's got money anymore, but he's
got more money than I guarantee he's got more money than Melo, and he can't still get protection from AB.
He might. It's been a while. He's been in there, but he's also got
Yeah, you're talking about residuals though.
He doesn't have the good paperwork, if you know what I'm saying.
No, he definitely doesn't have the good. No, he definitely doesn't have the good. That's not helping either. But even that's not going to. Yeah, his paperwork is so fucked up. It's so stupid. Yeah, he's cooked. That paperwork's got him so cooked. It's bad. I don't even think blacks can kind of justify his paperwork at all, bro. He's cooked on both sides. All right, well, I'll play the rest of this real quick.
And it is more serious than ever. Mr. Kelly remains again in prison with blood clots in his lungs. I mean, Joe and David, this is some really serious in terms of accusations. And we don't know what's going to happen next in this. But what are your thoughts on their approach to this and how the system will vet whether this is in fact true? David, I'll start with you.
These are extraordinary allegations. In fact, they are alleging that the prison staff conspired to kill R. Kelly and that they were recruiting inmates. And they have a declaration from the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood that says that he was approached to kill R. Kelly and that he's dying and that he wanted to oust this corruption throughout the prison. So extraordinary allegations. But you know what the remedy is for something like that? Transport. Getting him to a facility that is safe. And certainly it's not a reason to be released to house arrest for someone that has been convicted in a number of jurisdictions. It's not just one, it's multiple jurisdictions of conviction with lengthy prison sentences. So certainly I could see the advocacy and bringing forth these types of accusations and request for relief to get him out. But I believe it's either solitary confinement in that facility or a transport to another facility, not released to his house.
Yeah, man. So even Robert Kelly can't get money to save him from the Aryan Brotherhood because the Aryan Brotherhood will find money to compromise staff, the medical unit, or whoever this is. So yeah, he's enduring this ongoing threat, active threat from the Aryan Brotherhood right now. So it's like, good luck, Karmelo Anthony. And that is like the 6 reasons why I don't think he will survive prison. Now, this is me being extremely cynical. He could very well survive, but these are the reasons why I don't think he will if he doesn't. And these are the obstacles that he's got to go through. Being Karmelo Anthony and having this massive case against him, also being more high profile going in, the gang affiliation, the alleged gang affiliation isn't going to look good. That's one of the biggest things going against him. There's so much going against him, and the fact that he's going to be a golden goose coming in. And then remember when I showed you like the gay people walking around that got turned out in prison? Well, remember when I walked in and I demonstrated the test dummy that they make you when you come in? Hey, you're new here. Let me help you out. I know what's going on. I've been here for a minute. Here's what you don't want to do. You know, I'm trying to help you out or whatever. That's how they start. It can go one end to where they're grooming you. That's an extreme. Most likely may not happen to him. But the other end, they're automatically going to start testing you the moment you get in the door, right? They're going to talk about the paperwork. If your paperwork's good, they already know your paperwork. They're just asking you to see if you're going to be consistent, right? Because they want to know you're not going to bullshit. All right, checks out. He said the same shit we already knew. All right, just wanted to make sure, right? You're getting vetted from day one. And then you better try to PC up, find somebody, click up as soon as possible. And most likely you're probably going to have to get jumped in, which means you're going to get jacked up. Well, I mean, the test of time has shown that he runs from fights. He stabs and runs. I don't know. If he's consistent, that's the way it looks. And then his whole attitude of the black woman in the beginning of saying, touch me and see what happens. That's not going to fly in prison. The whole touch me and see what... They're waiting for you to say something like that. They wish you would say something like that. Say something like that. They've been waiting for that because they already know you were about that talk. You may not be about that action, maybe stabbing somebody if you can find something, but you are about that talk, but they will see if you can back it up. And trust me, you're going to be tested and vetted from day one. This is going to be a crazy case, but we'll see what happens, man. Very interesting.
Yeah, do you look at that appeal paperwork?
Yeah, let's bring it up real quick on the screen. Bring that up right now. Share screen. Here we go. X. Okay, let me give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna try to bring it up on the screen and magnify it. All right, this is the appeal paperwork that we see. Karmelo, oh, his name is Sincere. That's his name, Sincere. Oh, yeah. How sincere of you to go. That's so ironic. Your middle name is Sincere? Oh, man, the jokes write themselves. All right, here we go. Defendant's notice of appeal and pauper oath appointment to Attorney General. Comes now, defendant above case and states, I'm the defendant above cause. I was convicted in this cause. Now give notice of appeal to the Texas Court of Appeals for the 5th Supreme Judicial. Oh, wow. He's appealing this. Wait, hold on. It says for the 5th Supreme Judicial District of Texas of Dallas, Texas. It's crazy repeat. And that I am penniless, destitute, and indigent person, too poor to employ counsel to represent me on the appeal, and too poor to pay for or give. Stop the cap. Is this real, Tom? Because
I said you got to research it. I really don't know.
Yeah, because I look, they've been trying. They're still sending money to his family, but look. I get it. Maybe he's playing stupid.
Maybe look at the comments. I don't know.
Now I'll check the comments, but I got to read this though. I pray the court will appoint an attorney to This is horrible. This doesn't work with him. Like, look, getting a public attorney, don't do that. Like this is the worst action. If you got money, which I know that people are actively look, as many people in the black community. Let me go ahead and switch to my screen real quick. As many in the black people in the black community are running around punching white people for no freaking reason, saying, "Well, you look like you were on the jury," and they're punching them and making videos saying that they'll kill white people. They're actively doing. I'm seeing this all over Instagram and people commenting on these videos. They're threatening white people. I know that they are vilifying to the degree to where they can continuously send money. That tracks to me. If you hate somebody, you're going to pay for that cause. If you are motivated enough, think about BLM with the Marxist movement backing this. They hated white people so much during that time that BLM, what did they do? Buy a mansion? Like, this is what the black community will do. They will vilify and hate white people to where they will pay to back up.
Shout out Candace Owens.
Shout out Candace Owens. Oh God.
She red pilled the world on that, man.
That was crazy. Yeah. That was crazy. What a Marxist movement. And the crazy thing about this is like they robbed the black community. They took all the money and none of it went to the community. None of it went to the community. So it's like, and I think the same thing is going to happen to Karmelo's family. They'll take the money, but it won't last long. It's not going to last. It's going to be poof, gone. I guarantee you the BLM money that they used to buy a mansion with and all this.
It just shows you how much smarter Somalians are.
Crazy.
Somalians pulled off these crimes, no problem, right?
You mean the
Multi-million-dollar
Leering centers and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll give it to them. But there's one thing that they all have in common. They can be a walking thievery corporation. That's what all the points to it. I'm just like, this is just nefarious all across the board. And it's giving the black community, no matter if you're Somalian, tether, according to your our boy that debates against FBAs and tethers. Like, it doesn't matter what community, and you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter what community you're from. It puts a stigma on the black community to where we're all robbers in part of this thievery corporation. And now I have to deal with this stigma. In the moment that I push back against that, I get called the name that you have on the screen, Uncle Tom. I get called a coon. I get called everything else. And this is just BS. It's just crazy. I don't like the liberal left has allowed infiltration of the government for the Somalis to co-opt everything to where they can just have the biggest heist currently in American history, which is crazy. Sending money back and all that, just crazy. Makes no sense, man. But yeah, this appeal is wild to me. Like, if he does go through with this and he's like, I'm going to do the appeal, you mean to tell me when you do have money in the black community will send money? Because what happens, and this is very obvious, the more they hate the white community, the money they send is a reflection of how much they hate the community. How am I wrong? how am I wrong? It's like it's almost like a metric you can judge. Like, they don't hate whites that much because the funds are low. And once Derek Chauvin put the knee on the neck or the back, the funds reflected the hate towards the white community. They paid BLM so much. What'd they buy? A mansion? They bought cars. I don't know what else they bought, but that money was poof.
Oh, it's true.
Crazy, man.
Well, that's what I said about the Somalians. They hid it better. It seems like they didn't flaunt it like black people.
Yeah.
Not flaunt, yeah.
You know why
like
they hid it? You know how I know they hid it better and why you're right about this? Because it lasted for as long as it did, and we had to do some investigative journalism to even find it.
Yeah.
With BLM, you didn't have, it was in broad daylight. They were flaunting it. They were showing it off. But the Somalians, they hid it in Leering centers. They kept up a ruse and acted like, oh no, you can't go in. The kids are sleeping right now. Like, they at least, like, they were literally like keeping up a ruse, and that's why it lasted as long as it did. And then
Kids
people like,
is crazy.
yeah, they had to keep up appearances, and Nick Shirley, bless his heart, had to go in and say, hey, like, if all these kids are not here, where are the parents complaining about missing children? If there are no kids here, there should be parents complaining about missing children. Like, I was like, oh, that's crazy. So it's like, yeah, bro.
Mescala said, "Can't R. Kelly hide in a closet?"
Yeah. He's like, can he hide the closet? I know. I think that closet's done, bro. He's got to sell, man. He can't. He's trying to hide at a different prison because they're putting hits out on his life, man. So that closet's over with him, bro. He's done with that. Abolish leftism says the local government runs cover for Somalis. What I would say is the local leftist run cover for Somalis, because everybody that's a conservative Republican or everybody that's on the right, they're not running cover for these damn Somalis. They're pissed off about this. There's a senator named Robert Gill, I think his name is. He's very based, man. He pushes back against this racial victim card that blacks use all the time. He pushes back against LGBTQ and the Somali situation with the immigrants and all that. He looks like Clark Kent, really base guy. But I would actually clarify that a little bit more and say the leftist local government runs cover for Somalis. For sure. This is automatically happening. And the crazy thing, Uncle Tom, is when you look at black culture, it's co-opted by liberals and feminism. It honestly is. No ifs, ands, and buts about it, man. Definitely co-opted. But that's my opinion on that. I think that, like Tom, if you are a part of the right, as I am, because I'm definitely right, and you speak out against the FBA language. I forgot what the guy's name. Who was it? We were going to debate him one time.
Tariq?
Yeah, Tariq Nasheed. I was supposed to go into space and debate him, but I was like, I already transitioned over to YouTube at the time. And I was like, damn, he doesn't do YouTube. He does X Spaces to YouTube. And I was just like, man, why is this guy such a vagina face? Like, he doesn't want to go to YouTube straight up and StreamYard. He just wants to stay on X Spaces where he can hide behind a
I think he does TikTok now, but he's got his YouTube channel and stuff. But
yeah, but he won't do it unless he has like 4 people in a room backing him up. And I'm like, why do you need backup? Like, even 2 people like interrupting with him, so you're outnumbered. And I'm like, Tariq, bro, let's just square up one-on-one, bro. Let's but he don't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it. It's crazy. I tried. And his people, I forgot who it was, messaged me, and he was like, yeah, but if you got to go to Spaces though, and we got to, and I was like, can we do one-on-one? He was like, nah, we don't run it like that though. Wait, what? You can't like square up one-on-one like we squared up on the street back in the day? You need your homies to back you up? Like, it's just me. What are you so scared of, Tariq Nasheed? Why are you so scared? Nope. Can't even do it. He doesn't want to square up one-on-one. It's crazy, man. I don't understand it. He wants to be you can't do a debate and be the moderator and debater at the same time. That's problematic. That means that you're going to be the prosecutor and the judge, meaning if you disagree, you mute the hell out of me and you can kick me.
Yeah, exactly.
This is stupid. So why would I ever engage in a debate?
Let me give you a clip for your audience, a little introduction to Tariq.
Yeah, Tariq Nasheed is a scarecrow at best. But once you get past the fact that he doesn't really scare the crows, he's just decorative black culture. That's all he is. Decorative black culture. People can say, well, he looks scary. No, he's not, bro. Because he needs all this backup, and then he needs the mute button. He needs the kick button to kick you out of the conversation, and he'll mute the hell out of you. You mute, you lose. That's what I should tell him.
Yeah, he muted the shit out of me when I debated him. But if you want to pull it up, I just sent it to you. You can a short clip. Introduce your audience.
Yeah, let's do this real quick. This one right here. Damn, Tariq is.
That doesn't mean I'm in danger.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that was the audio.
I know. I paused it. Oh, wait, hold on. That was the audio? Yeah, I thought she said, let me ask you this, and I paused it.
No.
Let me start it real quick. Huh? What'd you say? All right, I'll start it right now. Yeah, I'll play right now.
That doesn't mean I'm in danger.
So let me ask you this. I asked you about, you didn't answer my first question. Is per capita racist? Let me ask you this. The word anecdote, is that racist? Have you heard of an anecdote?
That's not a real question.
Is that racist?
What do you mean?
Did the white people send these hurdy?
Sleight of hand, sir. That's a sleight of hand argument that shrinks the denominator to make a small group's share of an incident looks disproportionately large.
What? This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. He's saying reality is somehow an illusion. That's what he's pointing to. He's basically saying that
math is racist. I trolled the hell out of him here.
He's saying that reality is illusory for some reason, somehow. That's what I get from this. When you make this statement that per capita is meant to just shrink a population, I'm like, what do you think it means? What is it? Like, I would ask him, I was like, what's your definition of per capita? Do you think it's a psyop? Do you think per capita is a psyop, or do you think it reflects reality? This guy's an idiot, or this is great. All right, I'll play the rest. Let me stop. This This is all. I'm only 29 seconds into this. Is wild already. Let's play the rest.
It's a sleight of hand trick. You understand?
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I had to stop it again. Per capita is a trick?
Yeah, according to him.
Uncle Ty, how do you? My brain hurts right now, bro. Hold on. How is per capita a trick? Can you explain this, Tom? To like, how does this make any sense?
Yeah, no, it gets better.
Per capita is a trick. Oh man, this guy. This is like 80 IQ. Shit. All right, let me play the rest.
Per capita is a trick now. This is
I forgot seeing this, so now you're saying the same thing I am. Per capita is a trick is wild, bro. Crazy.
comedic gold. So it is a trick. It is right.
And trick. It ignores raw numbers.
Wait, hold on. He just mute you?
Yeah. He kept muting me, but
So that's why I don't want to. This is why this guy's a coward. I wanted to do a debate against him, and he doesn't want to do the square up. He wants to have the mute button, and I told him, well, here's how Tariq talks to you. I forgot what his name is. He's gonna send his boy to talk to you because he can't talk to you himself, and then he'll say, "I'm the intermediate between you and Tariq," and Tariq says that he's not gonna do that unless he's hosting. Well, that's stupid because we need somebody who's a media, like a non-biased moderator. Because if we do a debate and you mute the hell out of me, this is a lopsided fight to begin with. That's why I don't like doing spaces or TikTok sometimes. That's why I started going to YouTube where I can find another person who isn't on any side to control all the mute buttons. To where I can't mute you, you can't mute me, and it's fair. He doesn't want to fight fair.
no, of course not. He wants complete control. As a matter of fact, after this short clip, you could actually, it'd be a good transition, I think, for your audience if you head over to his YouTube and play the Karmelo. He had a space, an X space on Karmelo Anthony. It's up on YouTube. Actually, I think it's on somebody else's channel, but if you just do Tariq Nasheed Karmelo Anthony, if you type that into YouTube, you'll be able to pull up where he talks about it. And then you'll be able to, if you react to that, I think people would like to hear you react to the shit he's saying, because he's essentially inciting, he's part of the problem. He's like inciting black people to get angry. If you listen to how he monologues, it's just real. It's terrible. It's terrible. So that's why I don't feel bad about trolling him right here.
Like, okay, already off rip. I'm looking at this. I see Tariq, then you see Uncle Tom, and then you see two other people. Even though they're the listeners, Yoshi and Nikki. So they have two strong SCRONG, strong independent black women over here, and I'm just like, this is the problem here. Like, it's not just him, but he's backed up by a matriarchy. This is trash. And not to mention this, he has a lopsided advantage of having the mute. But all right, let me play the rest. This is already crazy. This is wild already.
Numbers that often show white people commit the most overall crime in the U.S. And
Hold on. Are we talking violent crime? Because white people don't lead in violent crime.
No, now he's talking about overall crime. Which is obviously true because there's 63% of the population. But
yeah, but that's not a per capita
matters.
destroys that. Yeah, per capita destroys that. Yeah, because if you're talking about 13% of the population, it really makes those numbers look stupid. If he says white people commit the most, nope, not when we bring per capita into this.
Yeah, not to mention they've been caught putting, ethnic criminals and marking them as white on the police report or on the booking sheets.
They've been doing that. And then not to mention this, because there was somebody who offed somebody in New York. It was like a big thing that made the news. And they put black suspect something in one right already, because it was like a mug shot, but they didn't fill it in yet. they already put like a black person, right? They automatically did this. They put a black person and it was like really a white person. So they do the opposite too sometimes. It's really funny. So it's hard to believe the media because they'll do a switcheroo sometimes. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So I'm like, are you guys doctoring the numbers somehow? But yeah, I'll see that too. I'll play the rest of this real quick.
Then you start talking.
I see.
Right.
So then the police brutality
Per capita don't mean nothing when the raw numbers
Muted again. That's crazy.
are high, sir.
I see. So the police brutality numbers against blacks may be inaccurate. Then it may not tell the full story, right? Based on your logic. Okay, buddy. I'll leave it there for you to wrap your mind around that one.
That don't
You have a good night. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, he ran out of troll material. Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy. Is it? He ran out of troll material. He couldn't answer that though.
No, he couldn't.
just ran out of damn troll material. Yeah, per capita is a
I'm gonna listen to the rest of this because I like the cope. I like listening to the cope a little bit.
sleight of hand. As
Is sleight of hand now? Is still a trick? Is wild. Sleight of hand and calling it a trick is wild. That's like stretching the limits of credulity here. Like, did he graduate anything? Begs the question a little bit.
He's in the movie. He did a couple movies, I guess, but yeah.
I feel like he just makes shit up sometimes, and he tries to sell it really well.
He's an instigator. He takes advantage of the black community. It's crazy.
Oh, well, you have to do this. You have to fabricate things sometimes to justify the grounding that you have. If you're going to lay the groundwork and it's going to be fake, you better make it feel real as fuck, right? So it's like that's pretty much what he's doing is fabrication in his leadership. But he's saying that this is illusory. And I'm like, per capita is a trick? Sleight of hand? How is it sleight of hand if we look at the numbers and it's just math? Math is sleight of hand? How does that work? It's wild work.
this is it. That's a sleight of hand trick. Man, white crimes are systematically underreported. White perpetrators.
So it's underreported. White crimes are underreported now. I guarantee you he can't back that up either. He just wants to buy this assumptive claim that he's making right now.
There's a
crazy. Good Lord, man. This is wild, bro. This is wild work this guy was doing, man.
Yeah. So if you want to bring up your the Tariq, if you look up Tariq Karmelo, yeah, it'll you can if you react to that, it'll give you some good content there because he's hyperbolic. He's I didn't even yeah.
Tariq Radio is great. Was Karmelo Anthony overcharged?
There was one he did.
I'm gonna look for one recent though, because that was like 11 months ago.
No. There was one from like 6 days ago, 5 days ago. Not necessarily his channel. Just do Tariq Karmelo. I think it's a different channel. It's not the Tariq Radio channel. It's
Oh, I'm looking right now. All right, 5 days ago, will the black community face backlash if Karmelo Anthony is acquitted? 5 days ago.
No, but what whose channel
Ism
is
Radio.
That? Ism?
Ism Radio. Yeah, Ism.
Yeah. Does it say Tariq?
Yeah. Well, no, it says
Oh, it'll say Tariq. This reason why this one's important is because it was right after. It was actually the same day of the conviction. I'm gonna find it for you. It was 3 days ago, actually. Karmelo Anthony sentenced to 35 years. Is Ism Radio. So it's Ism Radio. Karmelo Anthony sentenced to 35 years. It's that one.
Okay, hold on real quick.
I can also share it with you as well.
Give me a second.
That was the I think that was the day of the conviction. and I just shared it with you also.
All right. Well, I'll look at what you shared.
Yeah,
Quick,
it's the
give me a sec.
shared,
Yeah,
yep.
I'll just do that instead. YouTube. Here we go. It's pulling up. Oh, here we go. Good Lord. I feel like we're in for a crazy time here.
Yeah.
Already it's opening up with like him doing the auditory claps and all this other. So give me 1 second while I pull it up.
Yep.
I'll share the screen. Sentence to, good Lord. All right, here we go. This is going to be a crazy ride. Pull this up to the stage right now. Here we go.
Oh, yes, we are. We in the building. Round of applause for you, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the building. Can you guys hear me? Everybody raise your hand if you can hear me loud and clear. Ladies and gentlemen, raise your hand if you can hear me. If you hear me loud and clear, let me get a thumbs up.
He must be talking from Spaces because he's talking about here and thumbs up and all this other stuff. Because
this was a rare space he did. Because he went off of Spaces for a while.
Okay.
Karmelo, this jury, not of his peers, this white supremacist adjacent jury, found our brother.
Even though not all of them are white. Not all of them are white, but they're white.
He literally starts lying. Out of the gate, he starts lying right away. Immediately, seconds into it.
What? White supremacist adjacent? Even though there was an Asian person on there was not non-whites on there, but somehow it's white supremacist adjacent.
There's Indian.
Bro,
there's
my
Indian
brain
groups.
hurts.
That's not even what like a jury of your peers means.
Yeah,
it just means like I guess your
people,
like area and like where
yeah,
you live.
or people just out in public, just like people that you could probably bump into. This could be anybody, right?
Right.
I don't think he understands that at all.
He does
of smurder in this case, which is a clear case of self-defense.
What? Push me and see what happens? Bro, clear case is crazy, bro. Oh, what the this is wild work right here.
All right. This case was about self-defense. It was self-defense from top to bottom.
Bro, I think he is a bottom. The way he's talking right now is crazy, bro.
All right. This met the threshold of self-defense.
No, it didn't. If it met the threshold, they would have said manslaughter, but they said murder. Oh, it met so now he's a legalistic lawyer now, I guess.
He's an actor turned TV lawyer.
Yeah, he's using a script. I'll buy that.
If I've ever seen a case, this was not murder in any sense of the word.
So nobody's murdered. Somebody happened to not pass away. So this is the crazy thing about this whole case is they'll say, well, he's serving 35 years. He was robbed. Well, Austin Metcalf's dad was robbed of a son. They had to mourn during Christmas. Karmelo Anthony was out during Christmas, got to spend it with his family. Metcalf's mom had to mourn during the holidays and at home. And where else she's missing? She got missing a son. She got robbed. Karmelo Anthony was out and about enjoying everything until this whole case ended up coming to its conclusion. So he's out. His family enjoyed buying a new home, a car. Metcalf's family was mourning the whole time. His twin brother looked in the mirror and saw his brother's face every single day. Couldn't do anything about this. Can't rewind the time or get their brother back or son. I don't understand what he's talking about here, but I'll continue. Wild work by Tariq, who won't face me like a man, by the way. It's crazy.
Wasn't premeditated, wasn't pre-planned. That kid didn't leave his house that morning planning on having to stop somebody from attacking him.
That doesn't mean it's not premeditated or has anything not even adjacent with that. That I can think about doing something 5 minutes beforehand, but if I can demonstrate this, articulate how this was, that can then be premeditated. So I just, what? This is crazy. I didn't mean to off somebody, but somehow I bought tools at Walmart in duct tape and somehow they ended up in the desert, but I didn't mean to do that when I left the house. This is wild.
All right. So we got to really break this thing down.
Somehow I feel like this is about to be the stupidest breakdown. Oh, bro, help me out, bro. Bro, what the hell, bro? I don't know if I'm ready for this, Tom. This is gonna be like me losing brain cells on this breakdown, or what?
Big time, big time. I haven't even watched it yet, so or listened to it, so I don't know.
All right,
but
like,
I just
haven't
know
seen it
his,
either.
I know his MO though, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be nonsense and escalation and intensification, inciting, essentially inciting violence and within the community, and then taking their money. Like they sell them propagandist movies and stuff. I mean, this guy, he's back.
I expect it, man. I expect that to happen. I expect him to sell the black card heavily. Like heavily. Brandon Johnson's mayor of Chicago. He does the same thing. So it's like, I look at this and I'm just like, we have people like this in the black community, and all they're going to do is just sell wolf tickets, and they're just going to grift. He's a grifter. That's what I've labeled him as, a grifter. So let's continue this. I can't believe you haven't heard this.
Yeah, he's definitionally a grifter. Definitionally.
Yeah. That's why I said I'm labeling him a grifter. He meets all the terms of the definition in my books.
Last night I was on TikTok and I did a live. I said last night, his lawyers, that lawyer his, was deliberately effing up. All right? I talked about that damn lawyer of Karmelo's. That lawyer was messing up, family, and I talked about how...
Wait, hold on. That doesn't make any sense. If it met all the standards from top to bottom as self-defense, how can the lawyer then mess it up if it was as obvious as Tariq said it was? That's like me telling you, like, I need to boil water, but I had somebody so incompetent they couldn't figure out how to boil it. Like, bro, you, by very nature of you graduating as a water boiler, you should be able to do that, right? You should be able to defend the fact that you can boil water because you have a license, i.e. the lawyer going in here. You should be able to defend something from top to bottom, as Tariq says. This is nigh defensible, right?
Yeah, well, he's gonna basically he's gonna claim conspiracy, of course.
Oh, so he's gonna reach claiming so that's a conspiracy theory at this point. But
and you know what? And he's doing all this, and I guarantee you, he didn't send a dime to the family.
Oh, I guarantee you he didn't. Guarantee he said that, but he's getting money off of it. It's scripted.
Yeah.
Bro's grifting hard, though. Guarantee he's grifting hard, bro. Grifting hard as hell, bro. And Tariq, if you're listening to this, just run it. Stop running from me, bro. I challenge you already. If you're listening to this right now, just run it. Do a solo on YouTube. If you're a man, you got balls, guts, and courage, and you are about that action, see me on YouTube. Don't be a pussy and say, debate me on X where I have the mute button and I can kick you. Don't do any of this. I'm not doing it on TikTok because it's the same shit as doing in spaces. Face me one-on-one like a YouTube, on YouTube like a man. If you say you're a man and you know, whatever, you know what it is. And this is also showing on X. So if you know Tariq Nasheed and you see me saying this, tell him I said I sent you, because he doesn't want to face me one-on-one when it comes to the YouTube thing and getting a neutral moderator. You don't have the balls, sir, unless you can prove me wrong. All right, sorry, I had to say my piece about that because that was irritating. Him having to send like a messenger because he couldn't talk to me directly. So stupid. All right, let me stop.
Some of these lawyers in the dominant society, when you have racially charged cases like this, they will sacrifice a win so they can stay on code with Team White Supremacy, family. Y'all better understand that. See,
bro, I don't know how much of this I'm feeling. This is crazy. Tom, what's going on, bro? So they can stay on code with White Supremacy? Bro, what the heck is going on?
I told you, man. Your audience will love this, man.
Bro,
if they want to laugh.
Well, this has to be a comedy special, right? Is it? This is a skit,
Basically.
right? Hey, Tom, this is a skit, right?
It's satire, bro.
Tell me this is a skit. All right, play the rest.
This is a lesson here. Everybody needs to learn from this case. Now, we're not shocked. And the white tea supremacists out here, do we have any white supremacists in here? Because I know a lot of the white supremacists are taking victory laps right now. They're jumping up, high-fiving, they're throwing mayo all over the place. We did. Oh, okay. Are you crying? You blacks mad? They want us to be mad. Listen, y'all.
What he's doing is he's poisoning the well. He's throwing all this in here so he can set everything up and emotionally charge this whole thing before he can really roll it out and demonstrate his top to bottom analysis. People do this often. They'll poison the well and say, like, before they do a debate, they'll say, well, she's untrustworthy. She lied to me the other day. I hope she doesn't lie during this debate too. You see what I just did? That had nothing to do with the debate, but already their character's poisoned before they even start the debate. People do this all the time. They'll poison the well, and he does the same thing here. He'll say, well, you're doing your victory lap. You guys are doing this in celebration of this. Oh, by the way, now that I mentioned that, let's get into the case. You've poisoned the well before you even started the analysis. People do this often. It's such a dirty, stupid tactic people do all the time. Anyways, I'll continue.
Oh, y'all been doing the same shit since the 1600s. We're not mad. You're doing this.
Wait, hold on. What is he talking about? Same shit? You mean like slavery and shit? Even though blacks sold other blacks to whites and
Yeah.
Same thing that
crazy, bro.
you've always done. You're reiterating.
Like he's sliding in some gaslighting. It's like a little bit pinch, like he's chefing it right now. He's like pinch of gaslighting, pinch of oregano. It's like this is what he's doing right now. It's crazy, bro.
What we say that you do. Yeah, y'all running around thinking that you're antagonizing us. Family, you white supremacists, y'all been doing the same thing. It's been the same laws since the 1600s. There's always been laws against black people.
Wait, hold on. Is DI racist? Not racist against white people? Like what about affirmative action? Is that not racist against white people too? Like I can go on. We're leaning towards anti-white racism in 2026 more than ever. The fuck is he talking about? This guy's he lost his mind here. This is crazy, bro. Anyways, I'll let me stop. I'll continue. Hold on.
Defending themselves from white aggression. That's not new. We're used to that. Now you're openly doing it, which is kind of good. So now all of these other dumb sleep Negroes will stop being obtuse.
Oh, so I'm also going to debase my base as well, too. This is crazy. You're stupid. Only I can save you. He wants to give himself a savior complex. Like he wants to point himself this so he can give us a savior complex. Well, yeah, maybe we are stupid. Maybe we do need you to save us. That's what he's framing right now. Do you hear that? Because I hear that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Crazy, bro. Like this is manipulative at its best. Continue.
So yeah, y'all just doing what we've been saying you're doing. You're doing it openly. Good. Let us practice open white supremacy. That means you're getting sloppy and clumsy. Good. Practice it openly. Be openly hypocritical. Because we're seeing these cases now. A black person, there is no self-defense, a black person defending themselves from white aggression. Whatever you do to a black person, it's self-defense. Even when a black child is running away from you, pew-pewing him in the back is self-defense. If a black man is on a train talking to himself, choking him from the back and unaliving him.
Wait, you're talking about the Penny situation? That was justified. This guy's an idiot. You're familiar with the Penny situation where that guy was acting crazy? He was acting like a madman? Yeah. That was justified, but he was vilified for actually saving a bunch of people who could have been harmed by this madman on the train. So this guy's victim blaming people now. Tariq is like really reaching hard here, bro. Like this guy is like, man, I'm going to call him Stretch Armstrong, the grifter. That's what I'm calling him, bro. It's crazy, bro.
Is self-defense if you're white. The threshold for self-defense is literally I'm white and I say so.
He's just making up. So he's a sloganeering machine now too. I see.
Yeah, he is.
Sloganeering at its finest.
Yeah.
Self-defense is what?
That's his thing. It's I'm white and I say so. Because I'm white and I say so. That's his thing.
It's funny because the whole time he's saying I'm black and I say so.
Right.
Like he's contradicting the whole time he's been saying I'm black and I say so. But now he says I'm white and I say so. Well, which one is it, Tariq? You're literally speaking out of both sides of your mouth, bro. This shit's wild, bro.
A black person don't even have to be doing anything to you. You unalive them, it's self-defense. So we're seeing that play out in real life, in real time. We're seeing the Kyle Rittenhouses run across state borders, state lines with assault rifles, unaliving people, and y'all saying, yep, that's self-defense.
Hold on, that's different though. They were actually trying to run after somebody with a weapon. If I have a weapon in my hand, like a pew-pew, and people are chasing me and I say, hey, don't do this, I'm armed, I don't want to have to do this, and I'm running from you while you're chasing me, that's justified self-defense because they are the aggressors. They're literally running towards Rittenhouse knowing he has a weapon and he's running away. This wasn't that type of situation where he was running. This was over a push. This is hyperbole at its finest being demonstrated right here. This is crazy. I don't understand this at all. Yet, if you switch the places with the Rittenhouse situation, he's black, Tariq would be defending Rittenhouse. He was trying to run away from the white people. That's what he's trying. He's running. They shouldn't have chased him. They knew he had a gun. They knew he had a pew-pew. He'd be doing the opposite. So what he's doing is race baiting. That's all he's doing is race baiting and grifting and being a sloganeering machine at the same time. This is wild.
And Rittenhouse killed 2 criminals. Like one was a sex offender, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing that I didn't even have to bring that up, but since you brought that up, yeah, I mean, if anything, he kind of helped the populace. It's like, well, he got to help the populace. Like this one, he didn't help the populace. If we look over at, the family that lost their son, where was any of this at? Nope, non-existent. At school, trying to play football. Shouldn't he? Matter of fact, he was suspended because he brought a knife to school. Karmelo. So I'm like, bro, like this is crazy. There's so much that implicates Karmelo Anthony in this case. It's just wild. There's no way he could justify it. Anyways, let me play the rest because this is kind of riling me up a little bit. This is the gaslighting doesn't work on me. The sloganeering doesn't work on me. And also the double talk of saying I'm white and I say so, but then the whole time he said I'm black and I say so doesn't work on me. So it's like, I'm trying to figure out how this sales pitch, like this must work on people who are like 90 IQ. This is me being charitable here, by the way.
But with a black person minding his business is getting accosted and assaulted by 2 corn-fed hillbillies. Ooh.
So we're gonna do name calling now too. Corn-fed hillbillies.
He was minding his own business while he's actively on a school suspension, from what I understand.
Yeah, school suspension
in somebody else's tent, and they're telling him to leave. Yeah, he's minding his own business.
Yeah, so wild.
Oops, that's murder. So we're seeing the hypocrisy just being played out very openly and very blunt.
He's basically saying Kyle got stabbed. Not Kyle, not Rittenhouse, but Austin got stabbed because it was his fault. Well, you shouldn't have did what you did. That's why you got stabbed. Like, that's basically his whole case. And he's not offering any reason why. Right? Well, you shouldn't have pushed. If we created a whole new law and said, anytime you do a push, that's justification for self-defense or for unaliving somebody.
There'd be like 8 people left on Earth. Yeah,
just think about it. Like Subway or anywhere else where you're getting concert and you're at like the, Ticketmaster booth and you're trying to get like the last 2 tickets before it gets sold out. Man, there'd be like 18 unalivings right there alone. And think about the fair, the county fair, unaliving, impatient, due to impatient people. It's like, bro, Yeah, like you said, there'd be 8
I mean,
people
think
left
about
behind.
it. Think about like a food drive, like a homeless shelter.
Bro, it'd be like
Now you
Tar-
got the,
you know what's
you got the
crazy?
weakest in our society killing each other.
You know what Tariq would actually say? He'd justify it. This is me being funny here, but also I think he maybe like would say some shit like this. He'll say, "Well, I solved the homeless problem overnight." Say, "Look at what I did. How benevolent am I?" I say, "There's less homeless people on the street, so net positive." You know, dude, that's not how we do it, though. This is not the way, bro.
Blatantly, which is going to work in our favor. Now, white supremacists, what you need to understand with this is that the Karmelo case, what you've done, you created a living martyr. All right. This ain't gonna go like you.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
He's calling Karmelo. They try to do the same thing with George Floyd, and it didn't work. They made statues. They try to make him a martyr. They try to do all this. They try to do this, and it didn't work. This was crazy. But he's saying that they try to make Austin Metcalf a martyr, and it didn't work. That's not what they were trying to do. Nobody wanted him to pass away. So by the virtue of him saying they try to make him a martyr, means that they wanted him to die? What is he saying here? So you mean the YT supremacist people wanted him to pass away? What earth is he?
No, I think he's saying
Oh God.
Karmelo is a living martyr, which is a dangerous thing.
Well, no, I'm using the opposite approach because if you're trying to make Karmelo a martyr by putting him in prison, that would also imply that could go the other way too. Like, I think I'm thinking ahead of things a little bit. It wouldn't make sense if they try to do it the other way. But if they try to make Karmelo a martyr, how? Like the last time the black community tried to make a martyr, he actually passed away. So you mean to tell me that you can make a martyr without having them being unalived? I get why he said a living martyr, but that's dumb. I don't know. He's just making shit up at this point.
I remember this part, even though I haven't watched much of this. I do remember this part. Yeah, and he's able to twist this so much to where it actually sounds viable, and it's like just sounds dangerous.
Yeah, I don't understand. Okay, I had to look this up because I feel like this was like a contradictory statement to say living martyr. A living martyr is a conceptual term used to describe someone who endures severe chronic suffering, deprivation, or makes extreme personal sacrifices for a cause. He didn't do this for a cause. It says for a cause, faith, or loved one without actually dying. So he doesn't meet the definition.
Yeah, well, that's what Tariq's for. He's gonna make the cause.
Just insert the blank, because Karmelo Anthony doesn't. Karmelo Anthony didn't endure severe chronic suffering. He was out. Remember Christmas time? He was spending time with his family while the Metcalf family was suffering and mourning. He was out enduring time, not even time spent, but out there free, alive, as Metcalf's mom and dad were missing a son. His brother was missing a brother. They were all mourning during this time. So what suffering is he talking about? And then it says he has to fulfill this definitional requirement, makes extreme personal sacrifices. What? He lost a knife? Like, I'm really reaching here to try to help them out now. He sacrificed what? A knife? I'm really trying.
His education because he couldn't get a proper education.
He was suspended, but that had nothing to do. That was his education. That was the education part. So we have to omit that because that has nothing to... Bro, this is like really low. And I'm really trying to look like, if I could argue from Tariq's side, I'm trying, bro. But I feel like I'm Down syndrome trying to do this, bro. This is crazy. All right, let me continue because I had to look up the definitional term and I'm just like, it doesn't meet the criteria on Anthony's side.
think it's going to go. You didn't erase them. See, this wasn't like a Tamir Rice or Trayvon Martin or some shit like that, where you get a black kid and you unalive them and then they become a unalive martyr. Now, you created a living symbol right now.
So this is how people promote items and make them commercial, to where they make them into commodities. Like, we can point to areas in society where people have done this. We have a declining birth rate that's really shitty right now. And people have done this. One way they've done this through proxy is putting sex behind a paywall. And whenever you put sex behind a paywall, now all of a sudden babies cost way more money. Now you take all the virtue out of having babies, you take all the love, sacrifice, and everything else out of having babies. Now that sex is more of a commodity than everything else, and people are checking out of marriage because it's a failed institution, because secularists have demonized and bastardized it so much. But my point is you can take something, and once you commercialize it, that makes you a grifter. Tariq is now fulfilling all the criteria of being a grifter at this point by making this statement right now. By trying to commercialize Karmelo Anthony is like, look at what I'm selling you guys, pay up. Because if there's a martyr, there's a cause for why my pocket should be filled now. This is what people do. They do this often in society. And he's trying to do this so people can pony up. And I guarantee, like you said, his family isn't going to get a dime from this. Carmelo's family isn't going to get a dime from this. Tariq is going to pocket all of this. In a sense, what I'm saying is that, this is going to sound crazy when I say this, Tariq is a black JEW. That's what he is. He's a black JEW right now. That's what he is. All right, let me stop.
Well, he gets it from his wife because you know his wife is.
Wait, what?
Yeah, his wife.
She is?
Yep.
Bro, that's wild. I was on the money. It's crazy.
Yep.
All right, let me stop.
You see? This brother's alive. He's breathing. He wasn't a criminal at all. He's a great kid. You got a person who had a bright future, who's a phenomenal.
You mean the guy with the bright future who was suspended for having a knife at the school, who said, touch me and see what happens? That bright future? Man, bro, the fabrication is like S tier right now. S tier levels.
No kid. Wasn't a thug, wasn't a degenerate, nothing.
Wait, if he wasn't a thug or degenerate, why was he suspended for bringing a knife to school? Like, I don't want to keep stopping this, but he's making... Like, he's just a fallacy machine, a fallacy factory at this point.
But you've made a living martyr out of him. Now they're filing appeals and all this stuff, and that's good. But now he's become a name that people can galvanize around. You've turned Karmelo into a political prisoner.
So he's like Mandela? Like, so what are we doing here, bro? Tom, what are we doing here? Bro, this is like
so influential, bro.
the limits of credulity, that's stretched too far. Good Lord. Now he's Mandela. Like, that's what we're doing, political prisoner. Castro now. Like, that's who this guy is. It's crazy, bro.
Political prisoners are very dangerous.
Now we're saying this is a political prisoner? What the hell, bro? Of all the made up labels that you could put, this is hyperbole. Like, extreme. Karmelo is not a political prisoner. First of all, the prisoner part was the only correct part about this. He's just adding shit on like more labels. Like, let me see if I can throw more labels at it to see which one sticks. The living martyr. Like, he's trying to be poetic here, but it's not really cut. Remember, he is speaking to the predominantly black community here. And then he's saying political prisoner is wild. Political prisoner is crazy, bro.
Dangerous to oppressive systems. So it's not about just
So Karmelo was dangerous to an oppressive system? Now we're really stretching shit.
Individuals no more. You become, he's like living proof of injustice.
Yeah, he caused a lot of injustice that day. That's why he got locked up and tried guilty.
You
Crazy.
see, like Mandela was not.
Oh, I mentioned, did I not say this?
You did mention that. That's crazy.
And then he's now going, I never seen this before. He's talking about Mandela. I was like, bro, you're actually gonna. I'm about to flip, like, you know the meme where people are flipping tables? That's about to be, I'm about to flip this laptop over. This is crazy, bro.
Drawing conclusions to Mandela's wild.
Karmelo is not even a fraction on Mandela's level. But to compare him as a political prisoner like Mandela is crazy. And I mean that with 50 A's before the Z and the Y at the end. Crazy, bro.
Just powerful because he was in prison. He was powerful because the prison exposed the regime.
So now we're going because full-blown conspiracy at this point. Bro. Oh boy, this comedy special needs some popcorn.
It just flows off the tongue for him. All of this just flows for him. Because
Like
remember, this is right after the verdict. And for him, it's just no problem to just hop on a mic and just start. I mean, if the federal government was actually cared about shit like this would essentially be terrorism, what he's doing.
Yeah. So this is the problem, though. So I'm presenting a debate. Maybe you won't agree with this, but it's to expose something. I'm working on the debate prompt, and it goes something like this. I think that blacks who are conservatives should push towards white nationalism. But I'm still working on the prompt. The reason why I want to do this debate is because, mind you, the prompt that I wanted to debate this guy on, Tariq Nasheed, was that blacks should pay whites reparations, right? Wild prompt. But I won that debate, by the way. But if we think about this, the problem with blacks in America right now, the majority, we have a black supremacy movement. And how you know it's a black supremacy movement is because whenever people bring up things like race, which is all Tariq Nasheed does the whole time, he brings up race, this, race, that. They'll tell you in the same breath that blacks can't be racist. So racist, whenever they talk about racist, all they're talking about is white Nazis or white supremacists. That's all racist means. So whenever somebody brings up racist, it only applies to white people. That's the problem with America nowadays. If I say such and such is racist, you know I'm not talking about a black person. You know I'm not talking about Chinese people. You know I'm not talking about Mexicans. I'm only talking about white people. That's the conclusion of where we've gotten to as an American society. Anytime anybody ever talks about such and such as racist, 99.9% of the time, they mean white people. That's the problem with this. Because nobody else can be racist, especially blacks, which is the most asinine thing I've ever heard of. So all of that means that we have a black supremacist movement when blacks can openly call whites crackers, white boy, and all this other shit. But what would be the functional equivalent that a white person can call us? If we can call them crackers, we can call them white boy and all this other stuff. What can they call us? Oh, the N-word. You mean the thing that tells me that I can unalive you because of a word, but I can call you the functional equivalent? You see how lopsided that is and one-sided? Blacks currently in America hold a double standard. I can call you a cracker and white boy, but you better not kill me. But the moment you say the N-word, I can kill you. Remember, this is just a word, and I can unalive you for a word. I can do the same thing to you, but you can't do it to me. How is that pointing towards supremacy or not pointing to supremacy? That's why I'm saying that right now, currently blacks. And mind you, I'm looking at this from outside in as a conservative, right-leaning black person. I look at this and I say, we have a black supremacist problem in America right now. And one of the biggest people that pours gasoline on this is Tariq Nasheed. You and I both can agree with this. I think we need to go back to common sense, because whenever I mention racist, that only means white people. That's purely common sense. I'm not saying anything wild or hyperbolic now. It's just what it is, but it's crazy. All right, that was my mini piece on that.
See, his captivity became a mirror that showed the world what apartheid really was. Now, America over here, you have basically, with this case, said to the world, you're going to run a white supremacist apartheid system. You're trying to openly say that.
What?
We're going to have a two-tiered system based on race.
No, it's the other way around. We don't have a two-tier system here. It's the other way around. If you go to Europe, there was Henry Nowak. I don't know if you're familiar with this case, Tom, but Henry Nowak, as soon as these immigrants came in, they said, well, he was over there. He called me a racial epithet. Meanwhile, Henry Nowak was bleeding out, got stabbed, and he said, I got stabbed. And then the officer came up and said, I don't think you have, mate. They didn't believe him. That's a two-tier system. Meaning, if somebody says they've been racist, they're going to treat that like a crime before they stab a white boy. Look at the immigration problem. Right now, Belfast is falling because of a two-tier system. Right now, France is burning alive right now, two-tier system. The UK, if Muslims say he complained about me online and told me I'm a bacon eater, you get locked up because of a post. Two-tier system. Meanwhile, white people can say I'm being assaulted by Muslim people. They're raping my daughter, like the man who had his daughter taken away, and then police prevented him from rescuing his daughter. Two-tier system. Mind you, that was a white man who tried to save his daughter. So Tariq is trying to get you to buy a warped version of reality that doesn't exist. Let alone in America, it doesn't exist. We don't have that two-tier system here. It's actually the opposite way because we have DEI, affirmative action, and everything else. Where white people are the last to get selected no matter how qualified they are. This is crazy. The fact that anybody would buy this bullshit that Tariq Nasheed is trying to sell right now, you belong in that low-tier black community because I'm not a part of it. I'll take the Uncle Toms, the Coons, all that stuff every day. But what I won't buy is buying out of something that doesn't map onto reality. And that's what Tariq Nasheed is trying to sell.
While denying we're doing it based on race. So now you created a movement. You have a living martyr. You have a political prisoner now. So now there's going to be a free Karmelo movement.
No, there's not going to be a free Karmelo movement. Tom, can I ask you a question? The whole time, have you seen a free Karmelo sign?
There's a movement. There's a free Karmelo movement.
I've never seen it yet. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm missing out on it. Maybe I haven't seen it.
He's part of instigating it, and you see it. I mean, LeBron James is part of it.
LeBron James is crazy, bro.
Boosie Badass. Boosie Badass.
Boosie's retarded too for doing that. It's crazy, bro.
These guys are, part of this movement.
This is black supremacist galore, bro. Like, I honestly don't understand how we can get around this. Like, there's no way around it because it's just... Because you know damn good and well that if the situation was reversed, he'd be taking the black side on that side too. So it doesn't matter with guys like Tariq. See what I'm saying? It'd be like, well, justice for Carmelo Anthony. He got stabbed right in the heart. See, you white boys is going around stabbing people for a push. That doesn't mean that you should take his life away. That's what Tariq would be saying. But it's like whatever suits him. So any position, as long as blacks are favored, is arbitrary to him. None of his belief system or his groundings are consistent. It's an arbitrary belief system. I don't even think he has a good moral system. It's all arbitrary. As long as blacks can be shown to have a victim card, it's white people's fault no matter what. I don't care how obvious the aggressor was. It's white people's fault. It's Austin Metcalf's fault he got stabbed. It's basically what he's saying. It's crazy, bro.
That's going to galvanize a lot of people.
No, it's not. Not at all.
That's going to get everybody turned up. So now there's a symbol to galvanize.
Yeah, if you galvanize them and you give them this fake ass propaganda you're doing, that's what, matchstick with a gasoline tank and trying to light everything and rile people up crazy.
Guys around. And the double standard is going to be very impossible to hide. So now,
You mean like DEI has done, like affirmative action has done? You mean the fact that if I open up a black-owned barbershop, but the moment anybody opens up a white-owned barbershop, oh, that's racist. But I can have black-owned and operated. That's not racist. Shut the hell, bro. This is crazy.
when you have these cases where you let these white supremacists run around here and try to harm black people and scream self-defense, and you don't do anything to them, and you have a political prisoner in jail.
He's still gonna run with this political. Crazy, bro.
Who did the same thing. There's going to be more blowback.
Oh, here we go. He's instigating. He's rallying up the troops. They're gonna carry around torches. Here we go.
You're further delegitimizing the system. When you delegitimize your institutions, people look for other means of justice, which is good because we want to replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice.
No, what you want to do is replace the current system with black supremacy. That's what you want to do.
But going back to Karmelo's lawyer, again, that lawyer, I think, is my personal conjecture, he was deliberately botching this case in order to stay in the good graces of white supremacy. Y'all better understand how deep white supremacy is. Family, stop waiting on a confession from these people. Please stop waiting on a confession from these white supremacists.
You mean the family that lost their son? What would they do? Confess that it was Austin's fault he got stabbed? Like, is that what is he trying to reach for? And I have a theory. I think that if black supremacy were to overrule American society, I think we would end up back where we're creating slaves again. You know, even before the transatlantic slave system was a thing, blacks were selling slaves to each other. I can go into that, but that isn't this video.
They're not going, they'll sit here and deny until they're blue in the face. It's not up to them to sit here and confess to you. Look at the actions, look at what they do, make your assessment and act accordingly. But this lawyer, dude, there's so many things he could have done. When they had an all-white jury, basically, and people are like, well, some people are Asian and Hispanic. They're still white. That's still white. Stop it. That's white. They're still white. That's a variation of white. Stop. Don't let them run that people of color shit. There is variations of white, and we'll get on them in a minute. But family, understand something. These lawyers, it's more important to maintain their status in the good graces with white supremacy.
You mean somebody that could lose their license? Like, why would anybody want to jeopardize their license because of racism or something like that? Like, what is he talking about here? People operating out of their scope of practice and putting their license on. Nobody's going to put school on the line for this bullshit. This ruse that you want to try to sell people. I honestly don't understand where he's even. None of this makes sense. He's just trying to propagandize his base even more. This is wild to me. Crazy.
Than to defend a black client in a very highly racialized case. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to understand how these white lawyers will botch a case at the drop of a hat when it comes to a black client. Some of these lawyers are not trying to win. They're trying to stay in the good standing with white power. Karmelo's lawyer, he let all them white people stay on the jury when they struck the black jurors down, and then they tried to lie about it, saying that the black jurors said they would not be biased or whatever, or said they were going to be whatever, said they were going to be non-biased or would be biased. That's not true.
He's confused. Like, he's trying to figure out, how can I sell this to them? Like, there's got to be a way. I'll think of something while I'm talking. This sales pitch is going to work really well, but I have to articulate in such a way where it just rolls off the tongue, like you said, Tom. That's all I'm hearing. Crazy.
True. Also, this lawyer wasn't cross-examining these quote witnesses who were making contradictory stories.
No. Here's the massive problem here too, and this is something I know to be a fact. Karmelo Anthony, the reason why I didn't put him on trial, and this is the number one reason why I didn't put him on the stand to testify so that he can be cross-examined, is because once he gets cross-examined and once he gets put on to testify on his side, he is now open and people have free reign to ask him questions. They didn't want that because he would have buried himself even further. They wanted to prevent this from happening. They were like, please don't put him on trial. Don't put him on because he is going to be a liability to himself once he opens up his mouth. That's why he didn't get on the stand. If we're really going to be honest here, we might as well say the honest truth. Carmelo's a liability to himself even throughout this trial. That's why I didn't put him on the stand. This is wild. Tariq's making all kinds of shit up as he goes. It's crazy.
He wasn't grilling them and knocking out their stories. He wasn't objecting to them saying little weird stuff on the stand. Just a lot of shit. I'm like, why is this lawyer letting all this stuff go down like this?
Because he didn't really have a good case. Like, you're only going to defend. Look, your ability to be as competent as a lawyer is often as good as the case, the strength of the case that you have. Like, you can only operate as good with the tools that you have to work with. Anthony's case was not that good. It was, I mean, I heard that when they played the 9-1 Wood footage, like, that was like one nail in the coffin already for his case already. The family had to leave. They couldn't even endure it. Even Carmelo's side was like, oh, this is like really hurting our side. Because when they played the 9-1 Wood footage, they described people crying in the back and one of the coaches doing compressions. Come on, Austin, stay with us. Commentary like this. Come on, Austin, you could please stay with us. Stay with us. And there's people screaming and crying in the background. This did not look good for Anthony's case. So when he's saying, oh, you know, he was just stupid, incompetent and all this. Nope. He had such a weak case that the attorney only had so much to work with.
And then when it was time for the defense to present his case, it was very weak. He didn't bring in no experts. He didn't explain the utility blade. He just let shit linger out there. He didn't explain that, how that's important for a lot of track runners to bring that to help get the cleats out of their shoes.
No, there's a tool for that. And then he was suspended for bringing one to school in the first place. Stop the cap, bro. Now he's lying at this point. This is crazy.
So he just let these little racial stereotypes float out there without addressing none of this stuff. He was a very bad lawyer.
No, he wasn't bad. He had a terrible case. He was trying to defend something that was an untenable position. Purely. I'm in this courtroom. Like, let's say I'm in this courtroom and they play the 911 call and I hear Metcalf's coach doing compressions as people are screaming and crying in the background. And this person's trying to get through the 911 operator and describe, hey, I need somebody here right away. There's been a kid being stabbed. And in the background, his coach is doing compressions on him saying, come on, Austin, stay with us, buddy. Come on, Austin, stay with us. The courtroom's hearing all of this. This is destroying a lot of the positions you have. The family had to walk out because they couldn't even bear this.
And I don't think it was just bad because he's incompetent. I think he deliberately half-assed that case. Some of this stuff is easy.
Oh, so now we're just going to make assumptions. Oh, he must have deliberately did this. Oh. All right, Tom, there's only so much of this I can take, bro. This is crazy. There's only so much I can take, man. This is killing my brain cells, man. So, We've been at this for about 2 hours and 14 minutes. If you're still with us, Tom, do you have any last words to say? Because this is wild. Let me take this off the screen real quick. Oh, that. Okay. Tom, if you're still with us, unless you passed out, that's crazy, bro. I honestly don't know what to say about that. Crazy. Crazy shit, man. But anyways, that's about it. Gonna wrap the stream up. I think we covered on why not Austin, but Karmelo Anthony most likely won't survive prison. For one, this is a racially motivated case. Prison is segregated by tension through racial constructs, gang affiliation. Second reason, Karmelo Anthony was throwing up Vice Lord gang signs. He's not really a Vice Lord or a gangbanger. So they're going to check him on this because he's not really that. So the Vice Lords are going to check him and question him on this. So the enemies of the Vice Lords want a piece of him because if you're claiming to be this, the opposing gang wants a piece of you. The Aryan Brotherhood has been following this case in the Texas prison because they have cell phones. That's number 3. Number 4, he's going to be the golden goose. Their family's been getting funds and money. This whole time, people want to make donations to the Karmelo family, which means that he's going to be good for somebody's books in there. Somebody's going to be like, hey, what can I get out of this? They don't care about Austin Metcalf, to be honest with you. They care about what they can get from this situation. And then number 5, no amount of money is going to protect you because we showed you that R. Kelly can't even get protection. He still has money. The Aryan Brotherhood put a hit out on him, and staff have been compromised. Medical at the prison has been compromised, and they're still trying to get him. And then number 5, he better join a gang or get with some group. But he's been showing in the past that he can't fight for his own, he can't fight by himself against groups, let alone one person. He had to stab somebody and then run and ditch the weapon. He did admit to doing this, but in order to join a gang, you have to prove that you can actually fight instead of running and grabbing a weapon. You literally have to square up. And then number 5, the 5th reason why I don't think he'll survive in prison, he's taking boxing lessons. Just kind of sum this up a little bit. Prison cells are like 5x5. You don't have a lot of space. It's going to be elbows and knuckles. And then even the hallways, the halls that you walk through, even the runs when you walk towards the cells, they're only so long. You got to probably sideways so somebody can walk past you. In boxing, you need space. He should have been taking a grappling or wrestling course, not boxing. That's number 5. So in a nutshell, dude's cooked. Absolutely freaking cooked. Once he goes to prison, they're going to know who he is. They're going to want to check his paperwork to find out if he passes, if he's going to be consistent once they ask him, because they already know. So he can't lie to them. He better be consistent. They'll walk up to him and say, what up, cuz? Check your paperwork, cuz. Let's go here, walk and talk for a minute, cuz. Like, they'll talk to him. What's your paperwork looking like, man? Come here and chop it up with us, bro. That paperwork doesn't check out with what you say, already sus. Bro's cooked. Absolutely cooked. He's already in General Pop 2. He's not even PC'd up. The guy's in Gen Pop. Matter of fact, I'll even tell you the unit that he's at right now. Hold on. Because before I go, I want to put a pin in this real quick. The killer of Austin Metcalf is at Wallace Pack Unit, medium security, where classification and behavior will matter greatly. Notice how they said behavior. The 6th reason why he won't make it is because of this attitude he's already displayed. Touch me and see what happens. There are people waiting for him to say this in prison. Touch me and see what happens? All right. Cool. I don't care how big, small you are. cooked. That's why if you're a golden goose to somebody in prison, money is going to be finite, especially if your family blows this on BS. They bought a house and a car, already throwing money away. Money's finite. So your protection's going to be finite. The moment you can't pay for protection anymore and they can't get any use out of you to protect you, now it's a barter system. What can you do for us because you're not paying for us? Let's see if you can do this to see if we trust you. Now we get into those games. Now it's politics. Bro's not even good at that. He failed the test already in the tent with Austin Metcalf. Guys cooked. Automatically cooked. Anyways, that's the podcast. That's my analysis and assessment of why I don't think Karmelo Anthony is going to survive in prison. He's not built for this, man. Not built for this. You're claiming vice lords, throwing up the vice lord sign, and you're not a vice lord. You're not about this life. They know that you're not a vice lord either. You didn't get jumped into any vice lord gang. The opposing gang wants to take you out because you're faking the funk. Vice lords are going to check you as soon as you get in there too. Good luck, bro. It's a wrap. Anyways, Tom, you're probably out, bro. Again. So I'm going to wrap it up. Everybody else, take it easy. And Christ is God. Hold on real quick. Let me end the stream right now. Anyways, Christ is God. You guys be safe. Tell your loved ones you love them because we live in a crazy world. So anyways, I'm